Okay, we have a few things. We have some raw shea butter, and I have some refined shea butter because it comes out smoother, in my opinion. But I like all the nutritional benefits of raw shea butter.
And we have a pot.
Yes, we do have a pot. This is a double boiler. So I got this off of some sale. This is a really old pot. Someone was selling on Facebook, and it has a cast iron internal to this pot, so it heats up really fast. This is the bottom where the water goes in. I also have a scale. Sometimes you don't really need a scale, but I'm going to add some aloe in it. So when you add any liquid to a body butter, you have to add preservatives. So when you add preservatives, you really need to know how much your things weigh.
And fill up in the jars.
Oh, okay. Son's helping me. He's done this with me before. So a few other things I have a lot of ingredients, but you don't have to make body butter really complicated. The things you need, I like, is shea butter. You need some type of oil. Different type of oils you could use. I'm going to show some type. There's a grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, coconut oil. You only need at least one oil. You don't have to use all these. I just like a variety of oils to use. Then there's a whole bunch of extra if you want to increase the quality of your body butter. There's all kinds of other oils. I have carrot seed oil. This also I use in the skincare that I sell in the moisturizer, because carrot seed oils really have so many benefits. One is it blocks the rays of the sun. It helps with anti-aging your skin. The benefits are huge. Another one I have is pomegranate seed oil. It's really helpful for mature skin, which I'm over 50, so I always put that in there. So those are some of the oils. I have more, but I wanted to show some basics. So the basics again is the shea butter, some type of oil, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, almond oil, maybe just one. I also add one thing extra, which is a little bit beeswax, because it keeps it from, if the body butter crystallizes it and melts some, it keeps it from separating. So other than that, you don't really need it. If you're going to keep your body butter in the house in a stable temperature, all you need is basically, you need something to fragrance with, some type of essential oil, so it smells good. I have a whole bunch of different ones. Rosemary, bergamot, geranium, lemon, but you need at least one.
They're different.
They're different, yeah. Tea tree is really good for your skin. So I have different essential oils you use. You need just some type, or you can use fragrance oil, but if you're going to use that, make sure you get something that's really healthy, and it doesn't have any harmful artificial chemicals and stuff like that. So I use essential oils. Stay away from that, because you really don't know what's in those other fragrance oils. The line of skincare I sell, it's scented with essential oil, not fragrance oil. So based upon that, I stay away from things which you're really questioning. So my son got out a piece of the wax, and we only need a little bit. But the one thing, wax is really hard to melt. So this has to be chopped up into very small pieces. So I have two things. I have a cutting board, and I have, this is like a soap cutter.
a silk cutter,
but we're going to use it for wax. So these need to be cut up into very small pieces.
it's hard. It's hard to.
So they'll go in first in the bottom, so they'll melt. Because if not, I'm just saying, make sure everything is clean. I clean everything ahead of time. I keep some alcohol to sanitize my products, and so it keeps everything clean. So you wouldn't want to get germs in anything, especially if you're going to be selling your stuff. Which this is for my house and my nephew who asked me for some body butter for his eczema. So I'm not wearing gloves, but if you're selling this, wear gloves. Ensure everything is sterilized, and alcohol is a good thing after you wash it. Everything soap and water to sterilize it, to ensure that you're not going to get anything in there. My body butter, when I'm not using it, if I make extra, I store it in the refrigerator. But you don't really have to. You should be able to store them like in your shelf or cabinet, and that's where the basically the germicide, and I wanted to show that, which I'm going to be using later. Where's the brand I use? Yes, son.
It's important to make body butter.
Oh, it's important to make body butter. Yes, to keep your skin moisturized. Right. So, the germicide I use is called Germaben 2. Germaben 2. This brand, I'm a Muslim, I'm wearing a scarf. The company is called Halal Everyday. Halal means permissible. This is a Muslim brand company. The maximum amount you could put in here is 1%. So that's where the scale comes in. So 1% of the total volume, and this goes in at the very end when everything is really kind of cool. Because if you put it when it's hot, it'll just kill the germicide, preservative, basically what this is. Then it's not going to work. So I wanted to ensure that that if you're not putting any type of liquid in there for body butters, you don't need preservatives, because only the butters themselves are shelf stable, and if you don't add any water and liquid type of thing. But I'm going to be adding aloe to mine, so it needs a preservative, and makes it more healing, more nourishing, because aloe has so many, if you get cuts or anything like that, it helps with so many things. So that's why I need a preservative. But other than that, normally most body butter that people are making, they're not adding liquid in it, and so they're not using preservatives. Yes, son.
If you can't try, you gotta try to to cut the body butter.
Oh, the wax. This is beeswax.
The wax of butter wax.
Yeah, I'm chopping up the beeswax again, because if your body butter gets different temperatures, hot, cold, or everything, it maintains the consistency and won't crystallize as much and get clumps in them if you put a little bit of beeswax in it. But it's not necessary. I do things a little bit more elaborate than the basic, but I'm going to store my rest of the beeswax back away, put it to the side because I know I used it. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to be measuring, is I have this scale. It's a kitchen scale, and in that, the measure is on here. I have it plugged in, turn it on. You put on your pot or whatever you're measuring thing first, and it weighs something, but you don't want to get the weight of your pot or whatever container. Like I have these other, when I'm making things, I use these plastic containers. They have a weight. Like this one is 2.3 ounces. the pot itself, 19 ounces. So that's just too much. So I'm actually going to switch the mode to grams. It's easy to do calculation. Yes, son?
That looks like a temper, but it's not.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to get the weight of the pot or any measuring container in there. On these scales, there's something called TAR, T-A-R-E. They all have. You push that, and it turns the amount. It's supposed to work. Let's see. Supposed to turn it back to 0. Let me see. TAR. Yeah, it's 0 now. So it's hard to see in this camera, but you want to know how much ingredients that go in the product. So when you're using a scale, you put your container on there, then you press TAR, and that will get it to 0. So it'll only be measuring what you add in afterwards. So when I'm going to add preservatives at this point, at the very end, 1%, I'll be able to calculate 1% of the total amount to add in, not the amount of this like big pot. So this is the top of my double boiler. I'm going to add my stuff right in there. So I'm going to put this little bit beeswax, just a little bit shave in there first. Thank you, son. And then I'm not going to be doing precise combination, but usually you need like 3/4 your butters to 1/4 of oil, or most half and half, but it may be too watery. So that's the approximation I like to use to give a nice thick creamy consistency. So I'm going to start with I have here some raw shea butter. It has lots of nutritional value to benefit to your skin. Can you open it for me?
Yes.
Take it out. Thank you, son. Keep it over the cutting board. It is sticky, right?
It's sticky when it's sticky if you touch it. If you touch it, it's sticky if you touch it.
Yes.
But it's hard. But this is hard. This is very hard. This butter is very hard.
You're right. It's very hard. That's why we add in oils, and we're going to use our mixer later on to whip it so it's nice, smooth, and creamy. And we have to chop this up a little bit because it'll take too long to melt.
But
It takes too long to melt when it's in a big clump.
it's hard to chop. If it doesn't melt, if it doesn't melt.
So this is not that hot. So I'm going to chop this up some.
If it doesn't chop, you gotta try again.
Yeah, but this one is easy to chop. It's nice and soft.
Then
So
it will
I'm
chop.
going to
It
scrape
feels
this into
soft.
the pot.
It feels soft and creamy, but it doesn't feel creamy. It doesn't feel creamy.
And anyone here adding in, I'm Naima. I'm the owner of Ekhambee Natural. It's called, my tagline is Naturally Appealing Skincare. It's a line of skincare. I have a cleanser, a toner gel, a moisturizer, a apple cider vinegar mud mask. I have a face moisturizer, a body lotion, and some whipped body butter. All good for sensitive skin, but they work for normal skin, all different type of skin. And a huge benefit what they do is I created them to get rid of dull skin and like dark eye circles, discoloration, get rid of marks you get from acne. The Manson gel works really well for your pores are clogged or dark underarms. All these things are problems I had. So I created my own product. And cool thing about my products, I'm showing you how to make a whipped body butter. My product is actually made and manufactured. I get manufacturers to make them with me to full scale. And so they're all super safe and they're stored in a warehouse and shipped directly from my website. So hopefully you'll enjoy like some benefits and you could follow me and check out my website. My website is www.ekhambee.shop, but the link is in my profile link, and my product is available here directly on TikTok, where you can order them or check them out or link to them and all the detailed ingredients. So we're going to go on with the body butter making. A lot of people can make this stuff at home. That's why I wanted to show. Unlike some of my other products are more complicated, like my face cleanser.
Ugh.
More complicated to make a cleanser. Thank you, son. So he's going to get a lump of this is a refined body butter. It's more white. It adds a nice color to it, a little more creamy, but I like to mix both of them. I like the benefit because regular body butter has a stronger smell. I don't like using all raw body butter completely because its smell can overpower you.
This is hard, but it's easy to cut this.
Oh, this one? Yeah. So this is refined.
But what's it called?
This is refined shea butter.
Refined. It's called refined.
Shea butter.
Refined shea butter. They're sticky, but if you touch it, it doesn't stick on your finger. If you touch it very hard, it sticks on your finger. If you touch it very hard, it sticks on your finger.
Okay. I think we have enough butter, so I'm going to look at the scale here and see how much this weighs, so I can approximate how much oil to add. If you're just doing this from home, you don't need to be precise. I'm going to put away my cutting board and my cutter away because I don't need it anymore for the rest of what I'm making here. Wait a minute. That's grapeseed oil. That's a good oil to use. Let me see. 411 grams. So a third of that need to be round oil. So half of 400 would be, some quick math would be 200 grams. Well, we need less than that to be a third. I don't like a half, but no more than half amount of oil, a little less than half. So I would say like 150. This doesn't have to be exactly the thing. So we're going to add, I'm going to use 3 oils. I'm going to use the grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, and coconut oil. If you're putting it on your face or anything, I never use coconut oil on my face. Yes, son?
You don't have to if you don't want to use the rest of the oil. If this coconut oil, but you can. Some people put coconut oil on their face. Some people do not.
Correct. So I don't put coconut oil on my face. And you know why? Because I have combination sensitive skin. And what that means is my T-zone here gets really large pores and get really irritated easily. And I'll break out with bumps and my pores get really large. And coconut oil is a type of oil which will clog your pores. So can cocoa butter. But these two oils, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, do not. But being that I'm making this for the body and also some of it for my nephew, coconut oil has a lot of other good principles if you have eczema and if you're making it whipped. And it whips, adding coconut oil makes it whip really nice and frothy. I know you see people have to buy the butter and they have it looking like cake or icing or something like that. In order to get it nice whip looking, you need a little bit of coconut oil in it. So I'm going to put like a third and third of each of these and use my scale. So I'm going to add about 50 grams of coconut oil. I'm just going to pour it straight in.
But don't just pour
So it was
pour too
411,
much.
so it should be 460 when I'm done.
Don't just pour too much.
I think that's right.
But you just get grape over. You don't know if it's for
I'm going to put my coconut oil to the
grape-
side because I'm
grape
done with that.
oil. You don't know if you don't know if this grape has
Sea oil?
This sea oil has grape flavor. You gotta smell it first.
No, okay, it doesn't. It's just grapeseed oil, but it doesn't smell like grapes. You can smell it.
It smells
It's not like
oil.
oil.
But
It doesn't smell like
but
grape.
but it's not flavor. It gets even smeller, but it can't. But it can't. It smells. It can smell like oil, but it smells. It has a different smell.
Yeah, so we're going to add like 50 milligrams of this, so it'll get it to 5.
But
And
don't just pour too much.
that's why the scale is helpful, so you don't have to use a whole bunch of other measuring devices.
Don't
You
just
can
pour
pour
too
right
much.
into your container.
Don't pour
That's
make
right.
sure. Don't just pour too much.
So I'm done with the grapeseed oil. Son, can you put the grapeseed oil back where it belongs?
Where?
Under the bench there.
Under the bench.
Yep. Because these products I use for cooking and I use for making things. The oil, so I'm in my kitchen, so you can put them back. And sweet almond oil, 50 milligrams of this. It'll get it to about, where were we?
Oh! You gotta be careful with that.
I forgot where we were. So it was 411. I'm trying to add it to 560. Yes.
You gotta
Okay.
be careful with that.
Yes. So I'm finished with that. So the next thing we have to do is, this is the bottom part of the double boiler. Has a line in the bottom where the top is, so the water you got to put in is less than the midline of it. But there's other ways to make double boilers, but this is an official double boiler. Works fast. So let me add some water. You want to help me put water in it, son? Okay, come and get down.
But that's a different pot. It's a different pot.
Let's go over to the sink.
I'll turn it on. I'll turn it on. Hold it. Make sure to hold it carefully.
Okay. Yes, gotta make sure everyone. So I'm going to take this to the stove.
Then, but don't.
Get on this side, Jabril.
It's going to cook. It's going to cook for any minute. Mommy, what
Yes,
time
I
it's
want
going
to
to cook?
check out would anyone have any questions. Someone said, "Inshallah, you're a great helper." Oh, that's saying to Jabril, my son. Thank you very much for that. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Jabal, get back on the other side of the camera.
If
Yeah,
you want
so-
to help mommy, that's fine.
Yes, you want to help me, that's fine.
If you don't, if don't stare, if the butter will cook, and how many minutes will the butter cook?
How many minutes? Until it melts. So what I'm gonna do is break the video right now and come back later. I'm gonna let it boil, then cool down, and then I'll come back later when it's time to add the essential oils, the aloe, the other oils, and yes, sir.
Don't just wait. It won't. It always melts even longer, but it always melts slow. But it always melts slow. If it melts, it will melt and melt. But the butter will melt slow all the time, longer all the time.
Okay. It doesn't take that long to melt, but I don't just want to wait here. So I'm going to end the live, come back probably within an hour or so, because the body butter needs to be cooled off. And one way to cool, I'll put it in the refrigerator or freezer, and it needs to be cool enough to add the rest of the little extra oils or add the essential oil. And to whip it up. You need to be cool to whip it. So I'll show that later on. So thank you for everyone for joining me. Again, if you could follow me, I'm Naima, but my business name is this site is Ekhambee, Ekhambee. I'm on here on TikTok, also on Instagram. I have a YouTube page, and Pinterest, and actually LinkedIn. So you could connect me there. But if you like me on here, at least follow me. I could give you